Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the group who in this video will discuss about teaching reading strategy. And our topic is reciprocal teaching. Before we go to the material, let me introduce myself and my friends. In this group, there are four people. They are Venantius Ricky, Salsa Putri Nabila, Restu Aulia Kirani, Nur Faturahmi, and I myself, Nur Fajria. Okay, now let's discuss about the material. Reciprocal teaching strategy. Reciprocal teaching is a strategy in which students and teacher share the role of a teacher by allowing both to lead a discussion about a given reading. Reciprocal teaching entails four strategies for guiding the discussion. They are predicting, generating questions, clarifying, and summarizing. Reciprocal teaching involves students in the lesson as active participants. It also facilitates the transition of students from guided to independent readers and reinforce strategies for comprehending the meaning of a text. Reciprocal teaching, also known as reverse learning, was developed by Anne Marie Palinskar of the University of Michigan and Anne Cron of the University of Illinois in the United States. Reciprocal teaching is learning models that allow students to learn independently, creatively, and more actively. Students are given the opportunity to study the material first and they explain what they have learned to other students. The teacher only acts as a facilitator and guide in the learning, straightening out or explaining material that the students can solve on their own.
The four strategies. The strategies used in reciprocal teaching are sometimes called the Fab4. They are summarizing, questioning, predicting, and clarifying. The strategies work in a tandem to dramatically to increase comprehension. Predicting. Predicting is the skill of making an educated guess. Students can develop the skill by looking for clues in order to figure out what will happen next in the next, or what the storyman's message will be. At the beginning, the students and the teachers see the aspects of the story of the title, the introduction, and headings. The teacher then asks the students to predict the text according to Pellingsar and Brown. Predicting entails combining the reader's prior knowledge, new knowledge from the text and the text structure to generate hypotheses about the text direction and the author's intent in writing. Predicting provides an overall reason for readings to confirm or disprove self-generated hypotheses. In other words, the students discover or develop hypotheses based on the text that he or she reads. Second, questioning. Question generating in this strategy, students are given the opportunity to make questions related to the material being discussed. These questions are expected to reveal mastery of the concept of the material being discussed. Questioning the text helps students develop critical thinking skills. Model these skills by asking questions that encourage students to dig deep and analyze rather than summarize.
Clarifying. Later, the teacher and students try to find the answer in the text that they believe is confusing. Palixar and Brown defined clarifying as the identification and clarification of ambiguous, difficult, or unfamiliar aspects of a text. Clumsy sentence or passage structure Unfamiliar vocabulary or obscure concepts are examples of aspects. Clarifying provides motivation to correct disorder through rereading. Use of context in which the text was written and or read, and use of external resources. Summarizing. The final step is for the students to try to find the most important part of the text. According to the journal, Palixar and Brown defined summarizing as the process of identifying important information, themes, and ideas within a text and combining this into a clear and concise statement that communicates the text's critical meaning. Summarizing can be done on the basis of a single paragraph, a section of text, or an entire passage. Summarizing serves as a catalyst for developing a context for comprehending the specific of a text.
Got Okay, so there are some keywords that we can use in to make us more effective in using these strategies. The first part is the questionnaire. The questionnaire include what is, why is, how is, what did, why did, how did, what can, what would, why would, which will, and the last one is who will. The second part is the predicator. The predicator include the first one, use what you have read and the text features to help figure out what the group will learn and or what will happen in the next piece of text. And the second one is the group can change their predictions as they read on. I think, I wonder if, I imagine, I suppose, I predict, and the last one is I think the next section will be about. And the third part is the clarifier. The clarifier include the first one, the group is confused by what they have read. And the second one is when a word is read and not understood. The third is when a sentence is read that doesn't make sense. And the last one is when a question is asked. The next or the last part is the predicator. The first one is use what you have read and the text features to help figure out what the group will learn and or what will happen in the next piece of text. The second one is the group can change their predictions as they read on. The next one is I think, I wonder if, and the last one is I imagine.
Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna talk about the advantage and disadvantage of reciprocal teaching. So, first, the advantage of reciprocal teaching consists of first, develop student creativity, second is fostering cooperation between students, the third is growing student talents, especially in speaking and developing attitudes. The fourth is students pay more attention to the lesson because they live it themselves and cultivate the courage to have an opinion and speak in front of the class. The fifth is train students to analyze problems and draw conclusion in a short time. The sixth is cultivate the nature of respect for teachers because students will feel the feelings of the teacher when conducting learning, especially when students are busy or pay less attention. And the seventh is can be used for a lot of subject matter and limited time allocation. And so next, we gonna talking about the disadvantage of reciprocal teaching that consists of first, the lack of seriousness of the student who act as teachers causes the goals not to be achieved. The second is listeners or students who don't play a role often laugh at the behavior of students who are teachers, which spoils the atmosphere. And the last one is lack of student attention to the lesson and only paying attention to the activities of students who act as teachers make the conclusion difficult to come to terms with. So maybe that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.